Whoa, look at her glasses.
Hello, Professor.
Hi. Ai, meu Deus.
Are those
Professor?
Your glasses are like violet. Is that like, how do they do that?
It's a special treatment they give you to kind of prevent a lot of the blue light from phones and other screens to hit you.
Oh man.
So I have to make adjustments so it doesn't get too blue. If not, it looks like my eyes are blue or that I'm wearing a lot of makeup and stuff.
But it really matches well with your like lipstick. Like it's like a good.
It looks fierce.
Yeah, it's like.
Let's see if that fixes it.
I thought you looked good. I thought you looked nice.
I think it was better with the light.
It is fun. It is fun.
I thought like you were going for like a neon kind of like look because you got the bright yellow, and I was like, wow, look at that. I mean, it makes me. I wish I had the. I don't have the skin tone for that kind of red. Like, if I do that red on me, I literally look like a vampire.
There are specific types of red.
Yeah.
I've been reading a lot about personal coloring analysis, and people kind of put you in a specific color palette related to the 4 seasons.
Right.
So you have
winter. Yeah, the winters. Yeah. I think
I'm
a winter.
I'm a deep winter, so I can hit those colors without problems. But some people only work with deeper red. Some people only work with orange red. So
I think Elba, next time we come on, we should all try to figure out the lipstick that works for our skin tones and come in and see if we fail. And we'll just have Meg be like, yeah, no. No.
Cool.
I mean,
in the end, I had to log in through my phone because my computer decided to just quit today.
Oh,
it doesn't want to work. Yeah,
it's work. Is it? So are you on it now?
No, I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay.
But the camera is better anyway. So
yeah, I gotcha. So
I'm just checking if there's any settings that I have to.
You sound fine, and you look fine. I mean. It's you gotta okay. So we're sort of the continuation of what we were talking about last week. Was we were talking a lot about lore, but I guess it would be silly of me not to bring up the giant double masters in the room, right? I guess I don't know. I feel like we need to talk about that a little bit, right? A little bit.
The thing I've been doing for the past 3 hours or so is going through the prices of each individual rare and mythic in 2x2 and comparing to the same data from the less premium sets.
It doesn't look like fun math to be done.
No, yeah. I'm seeing him. He takes a drink after he says that, and I know it's not actually like booze, but it felt like it was booze, but he did it.
No, really. The issue with 2x2 is that Wizards did not do what they always do of showing all the cool cards first and then all the crap last. But now that we have the entire collection, it is better EV than Modern Horizons 2 or Double Masters or Mystery Booster or anything they've ever released. Okay,
that's good news. Because for the price point, it should have a lot of value.
Which is an entirely different complaint.
But my question is, are they going to have shipping issues? Like they
already announced they're having logistical and manufacturing issues, just like with Jumpstart.
And you'd think that with a set that has literally like every reprint that everybody's been asking for all in one thing, that you would be like, we need to print the hell out of this because people are going to want to buy it. But there might be an ulterior motive there. I mean, if I were a conspiracy person.
Well, if they were an ethical company, one could argue that they could say they're having issues as to justify a massive hike in pricing. But that's only if they were an unethical company.
Right.
Of course. Hypothetically speaking,
we don't want our imperial seals to get too cheap, right? Because we need them to have a little bit of they need to have a little bit of staying power. But conversely, though, the artwork. Oh my God.
It is insane.
I mean,
they knocked it out of the park.
That's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing is like, it kills me because as much as I am like disappointed with the, like daily kind of thing that we're used to with the whole like shipping and whatnot, they really, really like murdered it with the artwork. I mean, they had so many people coming back that have been, absent for a long time. I just interviewed Doug Schuler the other day, a few days ago. And like the joy in him is like palpable. He's, 17 years, right? Without, being in Magic, he thought that part of his life was over. And they bring these, they just, bam, 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 bam. All it's like a bunch of secret layers all at once. And I mean, and the artwork is great. I mean, do you guys have favorite pieces?
That's a very good way to put it. That's a very good way to put it. Like a bunch of secret layers coming together.
It was like an artist series secret layer, just kind of like, but like all in one set. And they really did it. It's just, so it bothers me because it's like, I really
it would sound like secret layer, blast from the past or something.
Yeah, it was, I mean, they just,
super cool.
Do you guys have a favorite? Do you have a favorite piece that you have that you've been looking at?
I really like Richard King Ferguson, and he hardly does anything anymore. But he did a Lenda, and there was something else he did in Double Masters.
I'm going to take a look at the card image gallery now.
You're allowed to do that. That is A-okay. I would do that, but I'm afraid I'll shut my computer down as I'm doing it. So I will just pretend. I will say that my favorites, one of my favorites that is mainly because I talked to him a lot about it, was the Allosaurus Shepherd by Doug Schuler. Not just because of the amount of like growth that it has shown in his like capability, but because of the tenderness that it has in it, and that it really should, by all like logic, be a silly looking thing, like a man cuddling with a dinosaur, right? It shouldn't be cute. It should be just ridiculous, but he did it. And it's because he used his dog as a model. He has a big dog that was sitting on a family member, and that's what he used as a reference point for the dinosaur. The dinosaur is just a giant dog that's sitting on him, which I think
that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It's how to train your dinosaur.
I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, Alison? No, just kidding.
Oh,
no,
I thought Elba commented something here.
No, you both said something, but then I was like, "What did you guys say?" So we'll go ladies first. Meg?
Okay. Oh, that's Meg.
No, I was just saying it looks like How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh yeah, that's
the
right.
whole Allosaurus Shepherd thing, because the dragon is kind of modeled after a pet. I don't know if it's a cat or a dog or both, but the animators did that, and it makes perfect sense.
One of the things that I found
the Allosaurus Shepherd has the same vibe.
Which one? What's that? Oh yeah. And what was yours? What was yours, Elba? What do you think yours?
I said I hadn't realized that was Douglas Schuler art.
You didn't?
I hadn't realized until you mentioned this right now.
It's nuts. I mean, the amount of that's the thing about the original artists. Like they never stopped and they kept going, and they're just as good as the greats are. Like they can still be in the game. It's like everybody, gives them crap because of the early artwork. They were rushed. They were young. I mean, people forget that they were just, they were kids.
They're college students, and personally, I've made fun of Douglas Schuler art before because his chins are too square and his faces are too unexpressive for cards from 30 years ago. So,
right.
Yeah. If the guy keeps working, he'll keep improving, and he didn't stop working, right?
No, they all keep going for it. And I love the tenacity of it. It shows that they were legit artists. They are legit artists. They were just in college when they were, massively famous,
Yes.
But what about you, Alison? What do you think your favorite would be?
It's the Burning 3 Emissary, and it's either the Burning 3 Emissaries or the Bounce Lens, just because it's a lot of Easter eggs. It's pretty, it's wonderful, but it's a lot of Easter eggs. Like
there's Easter eggs.
Creature. Yes, it keeps like the same the same character as the one from the original printing in Ravnica. It has the place where the character is standing is the guild group gate from the last Ravnica set. So the group gate, the guild gate is like where Stretch is standing, and there's a blood moon on the background. So it's just like 3 cards together.
How exciting was the Unearth with, it looks like, it is the Frexian Obliterator. That's what it is. Have you seen it?
Yes.
That thing's coming back.
Elspeth's worst nightmare.
And I mean, it's so iconic now. I mean, I love the artwork of it, obviously the first one, but the Frexian land, like that's so good. That's the most haunting, like portrayal of it. Like it's on that lone island, just like roaring at nothing. Like, so it's sad, I think, almost, like that's a sad existence, Frexian Obliterator. Should I talk about one that I don't quite understand? I don't want to, I feel bad for because here's the thing. I don't like to critique artists because of my personal taste, but blood petals, you guys. I don't know if I have a problem with the blood petals from Innistrad. They don't make any sense to me. Like, I don't know what they're supposed to be. I know that they're supposed to be blood that somehow turned into flowers. And then you take the flowers and you throw them at the wedding. And then when they hit the ground, they melt. I don't, see, Elba's face says it all right there. He's just
I'm looking at you're talking about the blood petal celebrant from.
Right.
From
and they did a remake of Blood Artist with they took out. I mean, okay, so that one is very tough because that's sacred territory, right? Like Johannes Voss does. Like his piece that he did is just like, how do you top it? It's just perfect. And then I
saw a tweet on Blood Artist that I think it sums up perfectly. I think it's the best comment I've ever seen on the change of art. Congratulations on your transition. Because it clearly is the same idea. The same artist doing the same thing. Like,
it's referencing. There's a reference to it like that.
It was a dude. Now it's a girl. Well, congratulations.
But now the blood artist is now standing in front of a window. She's standing in front of a window. She's painting flowers, and the point of view of the camera is you're standing way back as if like she's posing, and there's blood petals falling around her without any reason why they're there. They're just falling. It's the daylight thing. The daylight thing. Did anybody else notice that in the Midnight Hunt in Crimson Vow? How at Olivia's wedding it always seemed to be like noon with like the church, like all the light was coming in. I'm like, why is it doing this? And I think it wasn't fun. It was the whole they had the very slowest sunset to have all of the art looking like it's daytime. It should, Sigarda, and after that twist, okay, you could have some sort of daytime, but before that, no. It was supposed to be Eternal Night, right? It was supposed to be Eternal Night. And I know it's indoors, but come on. But I mean, like, what does she have? Like the lights that they put on at a football game, like outside of her, of her castle. Like, because that's what they could look. That's what it would look like.
Yeah.
Imagine the whole facades with lots of lighting going like the wedding of the century.
They got
like millennia.
On the outside, it looks like a TV studio.
they got like vampires with like orange cones being like, gotta park over here, put your carriage over there. And it was just sort of like, why Blood Artist? What was the point? I am appreciative of giving the young. It's LA Draws is the name of the artist, and I've been to their art station, and their talent is not a negotiable thing. Magic doesn't get crappy talent. It's not what they do. But I feel like that was a raw deal to be handed. Like that's a tough follow to do, and then I wonder how much of that was an artist brief, or was a residual of Crimson Vow. And then my question was, why not include it in the Crimson Vow Commander set? They didn't put it in there. They waited for Double Masters, which is like to put somebody who's brand new against a bunch of like, heavy hitters. It just, I think it was a disservice to.
Yeah, I see where you're getting. I hadn't thought about this before, but I do agree with you.
Yeah, it's not fair to do that to a new artist. New artists should be around each other. Like
yeah,
it's just
I can see that. Also, so here's the return of Douglas Schuler and Drew Tucker and Pete Venters and Paolo Parente, and here's LA Draws.
Yes, and they're giving an iconic card, and there's also I believe it was Carl Critchlow did another version of Blood Artist himself. So there's another Blood artist that so competing with like an icon of the game. It's just like, I mean, I felt bad that I was annoyed by it, but then I also wondered like who said you got to have her standing there, looking pretty by the sunlight and painting flowers. Like,
yeah.
To be honest,
I like Carl Cricklow's Blood Artist a lot better because it still looks like we are posing, because that was the big impact of the first Blood Artist. That we are the model, we're modeling for the art. But if you look at the page that the Blood Artist is painting on, there's a lot of tentacles. So it looks like it's something from the time of the travails, the whole Emrakul possession thing.
Yes.
So it is a model. We are a model that has been transformed, and it's super cool.
I did not catch that, but now that you mention it, it absolutely does have that, because that crazy look, like because the Blood Artist is like, that kind of like crazed look. Yeah. That's an excellent point. See, this is where they nailed it. Like, it's so good, but I know that I will never be able to look at the art because I won't be able to find any of it. Because I'm not even about. I mean, I go onto like Amazon because I don't have a local game store that I can go to. So I go to the Amazon and I see that it's like being sold by like the like Dirty Ditch Gaming's LLC, and I'm like, I'm never gonna see the thing when it comes out. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna ever get a pack of it. Are you guys ordering any of it, or are you guys gonna?
I'm not a fan of opening boosters for the sake of opening boosters. If I'm drafting, cool. I have a lot of packs that I haven't opened because I want to draft them.
Strange.
I don't usually buy set boosters or collector boosters, but I would be really happy to open one of these bad boys.
Right.
It would be so cool.
I'm with Meg. I don't like opening boosters just for opening boosters. I have more than a few boosters in boxes here to one day I'll manage to gather 7 adult friends with an entire free day and we can draft. But I needed bulk for Command Fest last weekend. So I did something very unusual. I grabbed a set booster box from Baldur's Gate and I opened it. First box I opened in 12 years.
What? Wow.
I managed to not open one single card over $3.
Wow. What? Oh.
I don't do that either. I don't buy booster boxes ever.
Oh yeah, that's like
I don't have, some people are lucky with opening boosters.
Alison can.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I have a penchant for opening bad phoenixes.
I have
a lot of phoenixes in a binder.
How many first of negation have you opened already, Alper? 3?
Oh, I know. You mean total like that I've opened like in my life?
Yeah.
14 and 3 foils.
Forces of negation.
Yeah.
See, that's a kind of blessing that I don't have.
But the problem is that, it becomes like, I don't have restraint. Like if I have a booster box in the house, it's the same as having donuts. I will eat them and there's not going to be any leftovers. I cannot not touch them. They will be torn up. I had no control. I bought a crate of Modern Horizons, right? To do for my channel. I was going to open them on the channel. It was going to be great. And I just couldn't get that camera going fast enough. And I opened the fuckers just with nothing on. like a moron. And of course, that's when I pull all the force negations, right? Because when the camera's not rolling, of course, but
60
when the cameras are rolling, the polls are not that good.
Force of negations, I wouldn't have unopened boosters here as well.
Oh God, it was. What was
that? Yeah, probably that's why we can hold our horses. I forget about the boosters during the pandemic. We kept buying some like mystery boosters and stuff for later, and the only ones, but we haven't opened them yet.
Now
we're waiting to put together 8 people, as Elba said, 8 adults with a full afternoon off. And we're still trying. We have opened quite a few packs on last month on birthday and stuff, but
I see. Now
we'll wait. We'll wait. They were born to be drafted out.
I think
that's the thing.
I think gathering 8 adults to draft is like the magic fantasy of like D&D, which is like, the D&D is a fantasy game because you sleep 8 hours a day, right, or something like that, right?
Right.
I think drafting, it's I think it's equivalent. It's 2 things owned by Wizard of the Coast. That's what they mean.
I don't have 8 adult friends. I mean, I do, but like they're not like they don't all play Magic, and they live in different parts of the world. And I think I don't know if I have like 8 friends that I could be like, let's draft. They'd be like, what the hell is this? Card games? Okay. I don't understand this.
Might be easier to teach your dogs how to draft or something, right?
Draft them with my Shih Tzus. That's what I'll do.
That's the new program. We'll just delete the podcast. That's what we're gonna do now.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just put my dogs up and I'll be like, because they'll be like, I'm so lonely. Pass. Man is screwed. But no, so I mean, wait, what?
I just had this idea in my head, like the cheats playing commanders, like they're politicking, like don't attack me, I'll pet you.
The dogs would beat me because they just give me that cute look and I'd be like, pass.
I can't attack you.
I can't attack you. Your door. Okay. Who here ever feels bad? Okay. You know that the Woe Strider, like the Woe Strider card that has the goat. I can't kill the goat. I feel so bad for that.
I'm okay with killing the goat.
I always kill the goat.
I'm okay with killing the goat.
You guys are monsters.
I love that deck. Mm-hmm.
Monsters.
No, and I use the unstable tokens that are the cute little goats that have kind of a staircase to get the feed up to their mouth.
Well, I use
they're adorable and they're foil.
I use an upside down magic card, so I think that helps on sacrificing the thing.
That terrified goat, it just breaks my heart. Like that little thing was made to be murdered. I just am like, I asked artists before. I'm like,
kill it, and check out the inside so you can have the divination that Scry gives you.
We need to recreate the satanic panic once again. We need to be yelling, I sacrifice the goat.
Well, I thought that you sacrifice to get to the goat. Isn't Satan a goat or something like that? I mean, isn't he like either that or he's a tango instructor. I can't be sure really what I can't remember the myth, but he dances a mean tango and he doesn't do blood petals.
New secret layer, Rakdos with tango dressing or something.
That would be basically, that kind of would be what was happening with what's happened with the vampires now that they're out in daylight and glittering and there's blood petals everywhere in Twilight. I feel like maybe Rakdos will become like flamenco dancers. Like that's the next obvious step, right? Like they're not murdering people anymore. They're out there with castanets.
That's very certain.
I now have an idea for my next Judith photo shoot.
Oh, you mean that's actually a good idea. That actually, you would look good to that. Have you been?
Yeah, I already have a Judith. I can just get some castagnolas and whatever and see what I can do.
That would look cool. But you could
why not?
You could do a really cool, like violent cast, like you could be like playing them as you're murdering somebody. And that would be really cool. Cause I could see her doing that.
They can have spikes or something or blood on them or something.
That'd right? Like there's how many characters have you actually played? I've never really gotten the count, but I know you've done Liliana, you've done Sahili, and that's the only
pretty much everybody that's being reprinted because Judith is out there. No new art. I was sad.
Yeah, that's
I didn't really that's the Liliana that I cosplayed, The Last Hope, but I was not that fun. It's just that when I saw the art for The Last Hope for the first time, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm an adult, but I'm gonna cosplay, and my life is over now, because she is so sassy in the original, and she's like, "Oh, did you miss me, Jace? Do you need any help?
Do you want to get pegged?"
And it is it is priceless. And on those two, she looks fierce, she looks powerful, but it could be any other Liliana, not The Last Hope. On The Last Hope, she has to be this kind of guess you need help from a necromancer now.
And she's fronting because she deep down she's a lover, because you don't get with Jace if you don't have a big heart on the inside. You know what I mean? Like Judith isn't going to bang Jace.
Oh, I have a big theory about that.
You have a big theory about.
I have a long-winded theory about why Liliana got with Jace.
Okay, all right, I'm all ears.
Okay, hear me out.
Okay,
hear me out. Look at the timeline. Okay, 60 years before Kaladesh, we had the mending. After that, Liliana started aging. In the Magic Origin arts, when she did all of the demon pacts and everything to regain youth and power and whatever, she looked 80. She looked really, really old and decrepit, and she had a hunch and everything else. And if the timeline is correct, the mending, according to all of the lore information we have, textual information, but when Kaladesh started, Agents of Artifice was 4 years ago, and the mending was 60 years ago. So Liliana would be about 30 when she sparked, and then she was immortal, basically. Then about 55 years more have passed. She was very old and decrepit, but then she got the pact. Okay. And then newly
a lot of maps
supple newly young and supple and beautiful again after like 50 plus years, she goes to Ravnica and she goes to a pub and she finds a guy that literally looks like a puppy and looks at her like this.
I mean, I'd do it.
Yeah. She was with him because she wanted to be worshipped.
Jace fell pretty much Kronk from the Emperor's New Groove.
She did fall for him, though. She acts like she didn't, but she did. And you know what? I think she had a little bit of a thing for Gideon too. Now, she is as straight as a line. I'm gonna call that. Like she decided like she likes boys. She loves boys. I think she pegged Jace though. I know that's not canon, but I'm pretty sure that Jace was getting pegged. For sure. Probably not Gids. I don't think Gids was doing that. Maybe with his buddies.
No, Gideon and Liliana were the most pure kind of friendship that you can find.
Yep.
And that is the roots for her redemption arc. She wouldn't have redeemed herself if she hadn't found a really true friend in Gideon.
Yeah, and somebody who actually gave her showed her what a selfless hero was like.
And if they had hooked up, it would have been weird because there would be strings attached. Yeah. The whole thing about Gideon and Liliana helping each other was pure and made her understand what friendship meant because there were no strings attached. So they can't, as much as fanfics are there too, say I'm wrong, but there has to be fanfiction.
Well, the thing about it is like you in fan fiction of like with people like banging or like where like fan fiction of what the story you described, because I feel like what you described makes sense. Like she definitely had that. Yeah,
but that's the what actually happened in the lore. But I think when people get into naughty fanfics, they will make anybody hook up. And the lore is not a problem.
Like,
then in the fanfic world, Lilian and Gideon can hook up as much as they want.
Like Tezzeret and Niv Mizzet, that would be a weird one. Like,
ooh, Rowland, if miss it.
Cotofed Grizzlebrand fanfic, go.
Grizzlebrand with his pecs. It's chest.
All 4 demons together, go.
Oh, right. Really watches.
Oh, I feel like that actually would be reasonable for Liliana. I think Liliana enjoys gay porn. I would not be surprised if she enjoyed gay porn. She seems like she would be in the know. But
the biggest question of the host Strixhaven arc. What's below? Like what's in her desk on the when she's teaching? Right? She's just like,
yeah.
And then she's like, gay porn magazines. Like, yeah.
Or a vibrator because she's bored there. She's bored.
Let's be honest.
There has to be fanfic with Liliana being a naughty teacher.
She has to be.
Definitely.
I would like to. I would
the
write
top bun.
Yeah, she's got the naughty school. Like, you've been very bad today. Somebody go sit in the corner.
A sexy Miss Trunchbull.
Yes.
Wow, I haven't heard that name in forever. Wow, that takes me back. Whoa. Holy crap, childhood just came slamming. But so, now that this makes me think so, like, I think bring it back to Double Masters and what you're talking about. I think the reason why I am in love with the artwork, and I think the reason why I'm so sad that I won't be able to really get to study it the way you could with like a set that's readily available, is to be able to like look at the art and peel the stories out, because there is so much that's known to these artists beforehand. And the like, for instance, like what's happening with the Blood Artist by Critchlow, like that being from Innistrad. Like, I love it when there's those throwbacks, where you're all of a sudden you're on the plane that we were at, like, years ago, and you get to see a little bit of that world again. And you don't get to, I won't be able to, look at it. It's like,
and when it's a simple spell in another plane, because we know, for example, the Pyromancers. Yes. Okay. So we have the variant young and seasoned Pyromancer in Kaladesh, and I'm here for it. It's wonderful. They're my favorite. This pair is my favorite in the whole art section of Double Masters too. They look really amazing.
They got a great like familial feel. Like you imagine that they have to be some sort of like
it's basically the equivalent of like having the double face planeswalkers for Magic Origins in a sense, right? But like it's not a character, it's not a major character, it's just like a guy from the plane. He grew up. Look at him. Mm-hmm. He's there, right? Another thing that I really like is like the reprint of Anger the Gods, which is the Hazred version, which ever since they released that art is like, and Hazred's the best god of Amonkhet. I'm just gonna say that.
Yes. Well, who lived anyway?
That's me. Who lived?
No. This household has a soft spot for Ronas. We love him, but Hazaret is the MVP. Come on.
I gotta be honest.
He survived.
When Gideon just walked on the river because he was immune back then, right? He just like he stared Bones with the face. He's like he just walking down the river. It's like, oh, you're supposed to be dead. It's like I'm immortal. I don't care about this. And
it's like you can't piss them off.
My God.
And then
maybe because of my first set.
And Bontu was super fierce. Bontu was really fierce.
Oh my god, super.
And she has a great redemption arc by the end of War of the Spark. Everything just fits perfectly.
Oketra was just so lovely.
I felt so bad for it because Oketra was like the nice one, like it was the nice teacher. That
she was the one who walked around the people, always teaching them.
If you fell down and you hurt yourself, Oketra would put their arm around you and be like, it's okay. You'll be okay. Dry your tears. But you're not going to get that from Ronas. No, you fall down, Ronas will be like, get up, maggot. Like, it's just like,
The microphone just had a little bit of a bug, and that just makes it even better, to be honest.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It's okay. Mm-hmm. That was perfect. Mm-hmm. That was in character.
It was in character.
Drill sergeant.
But I don't know. I feel like Ronas will not be a drill sergeant. I don't know. But maybe it's because I got really affectionate of someone who didn't appear through the entire Amonkhet lore. And then in Hour of Devastation, one story. This snake guy, God, anyway, he wins our hearts and then breaks them.
Yep.
Brutally
because
murdered.
he appears and dies in the same story, and it's beautiful. And people in coverage, at least the Brazilian channels, everybody was like crying on camera, basically.
Wow.
Because it's so heartbroken. Yeah.
Wow.
It was insane.
I mean, the thing is like, I don't have that. It's, I base it off of like, I have the art books, the big art books that they put out that are with each set. So like, that's where I've read primarily the story of it. So I didn't get the in-depth one that you're talking about, but I do know that he died brutally because the poison of the scorpion god,
Oh my God.
which that's a nasty touch to throw in there, to make it
let's all be honest. The scorpion god, like those three gods were so OP in the story. They were so because I forgot when they were releasing, it's like, now they just released like two colors each, and it's Grixis combination, which makes sure because Nico Bolas now that I was like, they're gonna release like 5 gods to fight, and everyone's gonna fight one, right? And it's gonna be like a superhero fight. No. The scorpion god showed up and like he killed like 3 gods?
Fucked a lot of shit up. Like
he killed 3 by his own or something.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fucking
and Samut only managed to kill him because she was goddamn smart.
Yeah.
Because nothing and he also got Hazaret. Hazaret had to cut her own arm off, which was metal. It was so awesome. it was that kind of mid combat. She got poisoned in a matter of seconds. She just flipped her spear and cut her own arm off. That is the most metal Magic went in a very long time.
That's pretty
so much.
Yeah, it's that scene from like World War Z, right? Where they just like the girl was beaten and the guy just like straight up cuts that. Is like, okay, that was fast. Oh my God. Oh wow.
So I never saw. I read World War Z, but I didn't see it because I mean, when I saw the zombies climbing up the wall, I was like,
I mean, to be completely honest, that was the only scene that I liked from the whole movie. But
I was like, Brad Pitt's just trying to get home to his daughter, and there's zombies everywhere. I'm just trying to get home to my daughter. Just trying to get home to my daughter.
It's like Harrison Ford.
Just like the book.
Yeah, right. Well, it's like, I guess the book is like, is this like in depth, like, like it's like a historical retelling of the war from all these survivors, and it's gruesome and it's brutal and it's very George Romero. And then Brad Pitt's just trying to get home to see my daughter. No, it's or son. I can't remember if it was son or daughter, but a child.
I think there were 2 children or something.
Mm-hmm. It was like, I got to get home to save my baby. I don't know if anybody saw that South Park episode. Just trying to save my baby. Oh my goodness. So,
sorry. Go on. Sorry.
What?
Go on. No, I was just gonna go on another topic. I was looking at Liliana the Last Hope from Double Masters, and I was like, let's be honest. If you look at the regular art, ain't that supposed to be Liliana of the Veil?
I mean, it is the same Liliana.
Ooh. Oh, wait. What Alison's implying is that maybe they thought about reprinting Lily of the Veil.
Look at the artwork. Look at the artwork. She's holding.
I agree with you.
She's holding the chain. It is a 3 CMC Black Planeswalker.
Okay.
It is a 3 CMC Black Planeswalker.
That would have been fun. They didn't have the guts. But it makes sense. That art makes a lot more sense for Lily of the Veil.
If I disappear in the last week, you know that Watsy got me, right? They heard it here first.
You've been found out. Like, no, there's actually it's really incredible the amount of stuff that that's going on with this set. It's maybe what Alison, you want to pull together just like what you should, oh crap.
And the artwork from the alternate thing also has the chain veil.
Okay, so you're dead then. They're killing you. Like it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Like your body's gonna be floating up the river.
I'm gonna disagree with you because the chain veil on her hip is just like her superhero uniform. I agree that in the regular art, the focus of the art is on the chain veil, but on the extended art, it's just kind of there.
I mean, but
it might be just me. It might be just me who associates Liliana of the Veil with the master sets, and maybe just because of that, and I'm just like that. But
I feel like that it's not as prominently displayed though in a lot of the artwork. Like for instance, like the War of the Spark one, you don't really see it that, like it's there, but it's innocuous,
And she's using it actively during War of the Spark.
Right. Like she was
when you see her art in Command the Dreadhorde, for example, she is actually with it on her face, which is fierce.
Yeah.
I wanted to have a Liliana altered art with the veil on her face.
The veil on.
That would be really cool.
The Dreadhorde general, she is literally holding up the chain veil.
Yeah, but it's like
she's holding it up, or she has it on her face.
No, she's holding it up.
Where I have memory of that.
See, yeah, because I feel like
I need to find the art.
It's sort of that's what I'm saying though. Is I feel like it's not. I mean, it's there. But it's all. Why would you be scrunching up a chain veil?
She looks so badass when she's wearing. It's so metal. She could have been introduced as a villain wearing that chain veil.
I mean, everybody would look badass wearing it. I mean, I think all.
No, guys, on Command the Dreadhorde, she has the veil on her face.
And
it is on her face
because I think that maybe because she does have in this set of War of the Spark, she gets rid of it. She's starting to like get to the point where she's and ready to chuck it.
Well, there are opinions because you know what happened over in the book. One thing happened in the art and the cards. Something else happened. Right.
That was
the black finale.
Wait, what?
War of the Spark.
It was a great book. What are you talking about?
What happens on the cards on the black finale? She smashes the chain veil against the gem of becoming, the little egg between Bolus's. Well, between Bolus's horns. She smashes one against the other. On the book, there's no mention of that. And then in Forsaken, she just drops it with someone. The Kaya.
Yeah.
And there was textual information from before that I think was in the beginning of Shadows over Innistrad, I guess, that she tried to take it back to Chandalar and leave it at the temple, and she couldn't.
It had like imprinted on her.
Yeah.
Like it was like, you're mine now. Will we ever find out who the fucking Raven Man is?
I need to know.
He's all of us. He's all of us deep in our heart. The Raven Man is the friends we made along the way.
Oh man, I feel like that's the thing. Like that's the big mystery. You are the Raven Man. No, I'm not. I'm not the Raven Man.
You call it a big mystery. That's one way to name it. A very nice way to name it.
I mean,
before Dominaria, I was so weirded out that I was beginning to think like, is maybe her brother from the future or from the past or something? I don't know, something like that. But then it's like, is the Raven Man the reason why he died? I don't know.
No, the Raven Man has to be. Look, they could not have made that without some sort of plan.
Well,
could there not be a plan?
Right. I would be willing to bet money there was a plan, and then they hired that jackal.
He who must not be named.
Remember.
Oh, the guy Nick. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that asshole. Then they hired him to be responsible for the stories, and then he must have said, nah.
Dude, no more Raven Man. That's boring, bro. Let's focus on some checks.
Exactly, but I don't think that boring was the word he used.
Oh,
an
man.
interesting character, an established character, a character arc. No, you're going to be decidedly male.
No, I don't think so. What we're going to do is we're going to put the boys and the girls together the way it's supposed to be. And
because this game's about dudes, right? Everyone.
This is a game for guys.
Girls don't play Magic.
Girls don't play Magic. They don't know how.
We must gauge.
And nobody wants stories about a no dude. It's just, we want to see muscles and powerful guys, and we want to be them. We don't want to be some old geezer.
Like, I don't want to do it with an old dude. I want to do it with Gideon. I'm not gay. Just saying.
Well, in Theros,
I never met the guy, but I'm sure he's a crypto bro.
I mean, I will say this literally about a
Sorry, Meg.
No, thank you. I mean,
about 4 days before he was fired, I was going to interview him for my channel. Like it was about to happen, and then he got fired, and I was like, well, I guess that's not going to happen anymore. I did not know.
Well, you still should have, because he was really difficult to get in contact with.
Really? He asked me like
at least we couldn't.
Well, I think maybe it's because I'm a dude, so no, I'm just kidding. I don't think I don't actually.
And obviously, you're not from like Latin America. Where are they gonna interview me from? From like
you speak American, like he doesn't speak brown or anything.
You guys have the technology to even do interviews in Brazil? I mean, like, is that even
that is pretty much. Yeah, if a public person doesn't appear, we create fanfics, and that's how he got into this.
I mean, but
now we have the story about him being a dude, bro. And maybe he's not, but he's never gonna.
But it doesn't matter because it's the myth.
Crypto bro.
Crypto, oh my god, that's the best.
I mean,
I did see an interview or an article where he outright stated that continuity is for geeks.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? No,
that is so offensive on so many levels.
Like I get a diagram that sentence. I mean, okay, that is ridiculous because all right. As much as I joke about him being a bro, he's not a bro. Okay. He wants to be a bro, but he's not. He is a nerd just like the rest of us, but he's that self-hating nerd that has to be like, this is stupid, you guys. I'm the cool nerd of the group. They want, the one who's like, I'm the one that's in control. And everybody like lets them do it because, they don't give a shit. And we've met that person before, I think.
Yeah.
He memorizes all the name of the magic cards. He knows all the lore. Therefore, he's obviously better because
he's like, I talk to the football players, guys. Okay, I'm actually cool. So like, I talk to the football players. One of my friends a football player. So do you guys friends football players?
I'm sorry for the tangent, but a couple weeks ago, I got a comment on a video saying it makes no sense that you're mixing up nerdiness and Magic the Gathering. Like, wait, what? Yeah, I've played Magic the Gathering for over 20 years and I've played on international tournaments, but I'm not a nerd.
Okay, I will. This is the honest truth.
No. The person who's saying this, and these are YouTube comments, his profile picture is an anime character and his name is in Japanese.
Do they not have?
I'd be like, not a nerd.
Yeah, I'd be like, all right, sure. There's no such thing as nerds in Japan. Like per capita, I mean, the anime industry is very is kept alive. So I kid you not. When I got into Magic, I was a trainer at a gym, and me and my trainer friends would go and we would play Magic at the store. The nerds in the store were not nice to us when they came in. You could just sense the we were trainers and our gym uniforms coming in, and there was hostility, and you knew that they were just like stupid fucking trainers because they just sort of talked to us like we were dumb. Like
they just had the PTSD for being like, I don't know, punched the lockers or something.
Tap your mana. You tap your mana like this, okay? Okay. And then remember, you can't tap them more than once. You understand me? I was just sitting there like, man, I do.
It's not that hard.
No, it's basically being a woman.
Oh yeah, no, I can't really bitch about that. But I will say this. You see the girl come in, like it's any girl that comes in, and you immediately feel bad for her because it's like, and I've said it before, but it's like that scene in a vampire movie when a human walks in on a den of vampires and they see the human, like that, like there's just no social skills and there's no
I think
the whole Twilight situation.
Many moons ago, I went with a bunch of lady friends into a store, and one of them is a very highly accomplished lawyer. One of them is a surgeon, and one of them is an accountant for high level, director level accountant for corporations.
So basically, they're not very smart. Everybody's real slow in the group, right?
But it was the first time they were playing Magic, And of course, I heard this sentence. Now I'm going to explain this to you because it's very complicated. Okay.
I'm listening, but I can tell that pissed me off already.
I was just looking at it. Yeah. Hey, girls, why don't we go to another table? Let's go over there for any reason whatsoever. I'm sure this game is very, very hard. Unlike open heart, open chest surgery. Stupid surgeons.
Oh my God. And and they show restraint. They could be like, listen, asshole, what I do for a living, you couldn't do if you had a gun held to your head. Okay.
Exactly.
I mean,
more people in the world need the Alper attitude, to be completely honest.
Well, it's just
people in the world need your attitude.
It's just like, if you can, like, I don't understand it. How can you possibly be that stupid that you can? I mean, like, control yourselves. Like, if you need to carry like a little spritzer of water to keep yourself in check, like the way you do when a cat gets up on something and you want to make sure the cat get down. Bring a little spritz water for yourself. Keep yourself in check. And wash your body. We're good.
Or deodorant. I think the worst thing about that, I don't know, man, like the nice guy syndrome, right? Or something like the OSGS or something.
Well, it's also like, you don't want to be like, hey, just so you know, like, you smell like you're dying, and everybody around you is about to, they're losing brain cells from this.
Oh no, but like what I mean, like, especially against like female players, like the nice guy syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at the same time, things have been progressing a lot.
Okay.
I played since Return to Ravnica, and it used to be like that, and it's a lot better now.
That's great.
See?
Do you think that? How do you? I mean, because I noticed a lot, and what does bother me is it seems like every streamer that I think that some of these men, they want, if the streamer is even remotely good looking, then she is, using her looks. She's not actually into the game. Is that getting any better? Because it feels like that's pretty like par for the course. Like, if they want her to be, it's like they want female streamers to be, like, either approachable
eye candy,
or I mean, like, I don't quite understand it. I mean, it's just
I don't know, because I don't know how we kind of let's say we educate our community really quickly. So when you have a streamer lady that is streaming and she looks good or bad, she has makeup or not, she has, and that was a comment once, her nails were matching the color of the sleeve she was playing with, and comments like that. We managed to educate them real quick.
You're right.
So that kind of behavior doesn't really happen, but every one of the ladies and several of the guys have been educating their communities towards not being that kind of jerk.
What would be an example of like a lesson that you would say that you've seen happen that you quash really quick, like along those lines of what you were saying? Like, what is a commonplace like anti-woman, or misogynist sort of thing that maybe people would not notice, being, a man sitting there? Because I think that's a lot of the issue too. Is like, because you cannot put yourself in a situation entirely when you are never experienced it. There's things that you just miss, right? Like, and then when you're shown it or when you're told about it, you're like, I can't believe I didn't notice that this was the thing. But like, is there something like that you've noticed, like that?
Comments about appearance, basically. Because when you see a guy streaming, nobody talks about, oh, nice hat or nice shirt, except that Elba has a really strong shirt game. Okay, that is something that Elba really knocks it out of the park. I'm really proud of Elba's shirt collection.
Oh yeah,
and they're usually in tune with the videos he's recording, so that's really cool. But it's not something that you see in your comments, do you, Elba?
Nice shirt, baby. Nice color coordination.
No one mentions diddly squat about the shirt, and even when I dyed my hair bright green, I've got like 3 comments, and I spent a month with green hair, and I got to the tune of 3 comments saying, and they were all derisive stuff like, "Look at this dumbass adult grown ass man with a beard and green fucking hair. What an idiot!"
Oh God, I'd be like, "How bad do you want to dye your hair, buddy?"
I got 3 of those. 3.
That's nuts.
And we're talking about so it was a month, 3 videos per week, roughly 300 comments per video, so a little under 4,000 comments. I had 3 comments on my hair. Now,
they would have shit the bed if it was a girl. They would have shit the bed. They would have shit the bed and
it doesn't have to do with dyeing hair or not. If a girl's, and that is just out of memory from the other girl YouTubers that I've seen here in Brazil, at least. If your hair is tied back or not, if your hair is blonde or black, if your hair is to the side of your body and it's covering the shirt or not. Guys,
it's astonishing.
It's like,
it's astonishing because I would love to go up to these people and I'd be like, let me ask you something. When was the last time that you had an interaction with a woman that was like, I don't know, not your mother or, your grandmother, that, maybe that there was,
that was
like
friendly,
Yeah, exactly. Where there wasn't like immediate, like hackles coming up when you approached because it just blows my mind that like of all the people to be criticizing somebody on appearances, the Magic the Gathering crowd, I mean, like, let's face it, like as a whole, right? We're not necessarily a group of supermodels. I mean, we're certainly not the London fashion scene. I mean, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying like it is interesting that there is an obsession with appearances, but also they do this double thing where they're like, they don't want the girl to be hot, but then if she's hot, that's too much. Like sort of the Madonna or the horror kind of thing where it's like, we either want Mother Mary or we want Mary Magdalene, but there can't be an in-between. Mm-hmm. Like there's no such thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think, and I apologize in advance because it's going to sound like I'm defending the action. I am not, but sometimes I get the feeling that it's not even how they look. Actually, how they look is just that they want to interact with the lady.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's not that her hair looks good or looks bad. It's just that I mentioned it.
Oh yeah, she knows I exist.
Yeah,
it's a compliment, I heard.
Then 5 years from now, you can be like, "Oh, I was the guy that." Yeah.
Oh
and 5
man.
years from now, it's gonna be like, "Oh, I was the guy that commented about your hair and that thing," or whatever.
Remember that guy that told you look better as a brunette? That was me. Like, wow, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, it's like when people come up and they say the most ridiculous things. I'm like, why would you say that to somebody? Like, they're like, they'll say something like, your last video, like you were much better a few years ago. I don't like your new stuff at all. I'm like, why are you even like talking to me? I guess if I bring so much like just horror, but I went into the thick of it. There was a time at the very beginning of when I started playing. I don't want to give away the name of this person, but I also can't because I kind of forgot what his name was. His
name was Jake.
It was Jake. He was from Canada and he did a magic show and he would say things like, "Hello, owners of luxury cardboard rectangles." And I thought he was so nice. I thought, nice Canadian guy, really lovely. I thought I joined his Patreon and they did a little like Google, like the little Google Hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The vitriol, the vitriol against women, the vitriol against gay men. I literally had gotten to an argument where he was telling me that as a gay man, I was being talked down to by having like Raul Zarek be like suddenly turn gay. And I was like, and I said, well, that's one way of looking at it, but everybody likes a little representation. That's all I'm saying. People like to see themselves in the arts that they're consuming. And he was like, no, you're fucking stupid. And I was just like, ooh, okay. And he had me fooled because he's so nice, like on the channel. And then just alone, it was like, that's when you see the like. It was like he didn't realize that like there was an enemy and like there was an enemy spy in the room. You know what I mean? Like, and it was so disappointing. I mean, like magic historian, I think. I think that might be it. Yeah, I don't care if he's watching. How's this for you, buddy? Here's my gay representation for you. That's not nice. I shouldn't have done that. But you know, what can I say? Fuck you. But so, you know, that was really disappointing, but it does blow my mind that the women thing is even an issue. Cause I don't know. I was raised by my mother is a woman. And, you know, I think most people who have mothers, you know, they're women, you know, you could probably, I mean, hopefully you could see that your mother is a person, but I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of messed up people out there, a lot of basement dwellers, but, and now let's talk about who's the hottest Magic the Gathering streamer. Hot takes. Who's the hot? No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, I'd say
there was a draft once, but that was in the US community. There was a draft of women streamers and Magic personalities on Reddit. It was a few years ago, and it was appalling. It was insane. They had like pack one, pick one, and several pictures of women streamers.
Oh, I remember this.
Oh, with like a sort of like a fuck, marry, kind of kill like sort of thing or whatever. Or?
No, it was like a draft. Pack one, pick one. You know
what?
Who would you pick first?
Yeah, the streamers gonna say. Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
The idea was the same as a fuck, marry, kill, as in who's the best one.
You know how people do it with peanut butter? They took a picture of a supermarket aisle and they say pack one, pick one.
Oh wow. God,
you know, but for girls, yeah.
And you can hear the virginity from miles away.
and then I remember the guy who posted this was a judge, and then he got banned and kicked off the program. And of course, he thought, you know, and I'm not scared at least of saying he. And of course, he thought that this was absurd, completely blown out of proportion.
It's a witch hunt.
It's
a witch hunt.
It's a witch hunt, exactly. They're out to get me.
It was yeah, no, that's great. Like what was that one guy? I mean, I'm also actually, what was the guy from the quartering? Like he just would say awful things and he'd be like, I don't understand why people hate me. All I say is that, you know, like certain races are dumb and women are dumb and I like guns and I like to drink in the basement. My wife buys me food. Like that one video where he peed himself downstairs. I was like, okay. He was downstairs. He was drunk. And he's playing like, I don't know, whatever thing. And he's like, I'm going to pee in my basement. He's like, I have a bathroom down here. And he didn't get up to do it. He just announced that he had the bathroom and then just went. And I was like, dude, you didn't watch that the next morning. You think that maybe, I don't know.
He did so much worse that this is, yeah. I wouldn't put it past Jeremy to be this shitty, you know, but he did so much worse before and after that. I just heard this story right now. I didn't know about it, and I'm not surprised.
No, I mean, to
me, the funniest story about Jeremy is how he was all talking big talk and showing off his guns and pictures and saying, hey, you have a problem with me? Here are my guns. Yeah, come talk to me. Come to my face. 2 days later, all news outlets, Magic YouTuber beat up in GP. Got punched in the face, run into restaurant crying.
He's like, he's bull. I mean, it's the biggest like baby of walls. Like the second anybody shows a little sass to those people, they're just like, they're the first to be like, it's unfair. And you know,
Eric Cartman is the most realistic character of South Park because of those kind of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because excuse the squeaking in the background, guys.
Hey, come on, Alper, no kink shaming.
That Those are my dogs, man. Those are my dogs.
Dude,
That's my
why
children.
did I just say no?
I am a gay man. I am a single gay man. Those are my children. I can't have babies. You know I can't have babies. And it's been a tough.
But you know, the babies, these kinds of fur babies, they go through a phase, and they decide that the furniture is their lover, and it's okay.
No, I only have one little boy, and he likes the blankie. That's the blankie is his lover. I'm like, Sammy, that's why. Now I gotta go wash it because your red rocket is horrifying. Horrifying. I'll go ahead and say it, guys, and I'll say it before. He's about this long, right, as a dog, and then his red rocket is like this long. It comes out, it's like another leg, and you can see him suffering. Like he's limping and he's got like this like thing, kind of like, and I'm like, oh, buddy. And it's there and it's horrifying looking. And I want to get rid of it, but I can't do anything about it. And he's pained. So I go and I grab an ice cube and I'm like, maybe this will work. And I put an ice cube to it and it doesn't go back in. It's just there. It's horrible. It's terrible. And yeah, I don't know why that thinking of Jeremy made me think of like Red Rockets. I feel like the same thing. It's like dog dick, why not? And that was my
that's actually a great summary of his entire Magic career.
It'd be like, dog dick, Your Honor. Yeah. Oh man, but like I love the digressions, but I won't keep you guys much longer because I'm having too much fun. I don't watch the clock, but I just thought we could do like any final thoughts, like Jerry Springer, where we have our deep moment. We say like we've had a lot of fun making fun of people tonight. Really, we're all about love, except for Jeremy.
Yeah.
Jeremy is a big.
That's basically it.
He's a big.
We have a huge cauldron of people, and we accept everybody except for Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy, you stink. You stink, poo poo farty. Like
I'm sorry. The last two jokes just took me off. The dog dick and the king. I'm sorry.
I was like, I think Alison you laughed so hard you had to undress a little. You were heating up.
I am. It is hard. It used to be, it's not anymore. My belly hurts and my brain also hurt. Sorry. I
oh man.
I'm sorry. That cut me off guard.
I'm sorry. It's I had to get it out. It was welling up deep within me. I
completely forgot what we were talking about. I just like, we're talking about an asshole or something. Then
that's why I was like, I should probably end it now because I just literally took the train and drove it off the tracks with that story. But I couldn't help it because when it happens, it was who? Wait, you guys said no kink shaming the dogs. Technically, it was Elba who did it. He started it. It wasn't me. It was you. You did it. You said don't kink shame.
Hunt. You are blaming me just because I'm a straight white male man.